today's headlines. Party and state leaders pay respects to late former Lao leader. And later on, Vietnam proposes U.S. tax postponement for trade talks. Good evening, you're watching today's headlines where we bring you the top stories of the day. A high-level delegation from the Party and State of Vietnam led by State President Lương Cường visited the Lao Embassy this morning to pay respects to former chairman of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and former president of Laos, Khamtay Siphavon. In signing the condolence book, State President Lương Cường offered condolences to the party, state and fraternal people of Laos. Also this morning, Prime Minister Phie led a high-level Vietnamese government delegation to pay respects to Comrade Khamtay Siphavon. In the condolence book, he emphasized that the passing of the former Lao leader was a profound loss for the party, state and people of Laos. The leadership and people of Vietnam have also lost a great friend. Also this morning, State President Lương Cường and his spouse hosted a welcoming ceremony for Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye and his spouse on their official visit to Vietnam. The visit coincides with both countries' preparations to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. State President Lương Cường and President Ndayishimiye exchanged views on key strategies to promote and deepen the cooperative relationship between the two countries. Immediate priorities include enhancing delegation exchanges at all levels, regularly coordinating and supporting each other at the United Nations and other international organizations. Now shifting focus to some economic news, Prime Minister Phie signed a decision today to establish a working group on enhancing cooperation and proactively adapting to the U.S.'s economic and trade policy adjustments. Deputy Prime Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn will lead this working group. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Đức Phước and other leaders of ministries and branches met with associations, businesses and diplomatic agencies this afternoon to discuss solutions related to the U.S. new tariffs. In the coming time, the Vietnamese government will continue to increase the purchase of raw materials and equipment from the United States. Therefore, the Vietnamese government has proposed that the United States consider postponing the imposition of taxes in order to negotiate, aiming to ensure tax fairness. Now, despite global economic fluctuations, Vietnam's exports grew steadily in the first quarter, reaching $102.8 billion, up 10.6% compared to last year, with a trade surplus of $3.15 billion. And this growth is attributed to the processing industry. To sustain momentum, many enterprises are proactively adjusting their export strategies in the second quarter.
One company has exported nearly 2,000 tons of electric wires and cables since early this year, earning over $13.5 million, an 18% increase from last year. Its success comes from actively expanding into new markets, a key focus for upcoming exports.
Southeast Asian markets are already quite familiar, so we're now working with African ambassadors and trade counselors to tap into the promising African market, where rapid infrastructure growth offers great potential.
Processed industrial exports hit $87.5 billion, remaining the main growth driver. However, businesses face challenges from U.S. reciprocal taxes in the second quarter. In response, the Vietnamese government is actively pursuing economic diplomacy and negotiations to seek fair adjustments, giving businesses hope to overcome these hurdles.
We believe that with strong support from the government and relevant ministries, we are fully capable of achieving this year's goal.
In the first quarter of 2025, Vietnam's trade grew positively with a continued surplus, reflecting stronger global competitiveness, laying a solid foundation for future export growth.
To diversify export markets, we can focus on renewing major ones like China, the EU, and the US by increasing shipments of high-value, branded products, aiming to raise export value even with lower volumes.
The stronger export growth of domestic over FDI enterprises signals improving internal strength. To sustain this momentum through 2025, businesses must stay proactive through enhancing technology and expanding markets.
Vietnam's economy is off to a strong start in 2025, with foreign direct investment or FDI showing sharp increases. Total registered FDI reached nearly $11 billion in the first quarter of this year, up nearly 35% year-on-year, while disbursed capital rose 7.2% to hit $5 billion. Additional investments, capital contributions, and share purchases also saw significant growth, reflecting continued and rising confidence from foreign investors in Vietnam's economic prospects. Coming up next, Long Thanh Airport Terminal roof successfully lifted. And let's take a look at young people's efforts to spread traditional cultural values on digital platforms. Welcome back to VTV News. Now, the central roof structure of the passenger terminal of the Long Thanh International Airport has been successfully lifted. The steel structure system, weighing over 5,300 tons and spanning nearly 20,000 square meters, features a complex curved design. The entire lifting process was executed using 56 specialized hydraulic jacks. This marks the completion of the most important structural component of the terminal and represents a significant step forward in the progress of the airport project. Kon Tum province experienced a series of 6 consecutive earthquakes in Kon Plong district this afternoon over a 1-hour period. 3 of the tremors registered a magnitude of 3.4. Residents reported slight shaking near the epicenters, and the remaining earthquakes range in magnitude from 2.6 to 3.0. The Earthquake Information and Tsunami Warning Center of the Institute of Earth Sciences is currently monitoring the situation. Now, in other news, Bạc Liêu province has supported 700 households in building solid, permanent homes as part of the Joining Hands to Eliminate Temporary and Dilapidated Houses program. The initiative, carried out in coordination with the Ministry of Public Security, has raised 1.63 million from various sources. Police officers and soldiers at all levels have actively assisted in dismantling old structures and transporting materials. 2 model homes were completed and handed over yesterday. The remaining houses are expected to be finished and delivered to families by May 19th. And on a lighter note, a cultural heritage, when preserved through traditional methods, is often limited to a small audience of a few hundred or 1,000 people. However, by digitizing it and sharing it on online platforms, that heritage can be accessed by anyone, anywhere, because of the far-reaching impact of technology. And this has given rise to new preservation possibilities for Vietnamese cultural legacies.
These 21 cards feature stories about Vietnam's tangible and intangible cultural heritage, natural heritage, and documentary heritage. They are the outcome of a research project by students from the Hanoi National University of Education, exploring the use of digital technology in cultural heritage education.
We are researching this project, which includes physical cards and technologies integrated into the QR codes on the cards.
Each card is a gateway to heritage, featuring images, information, and interactive games that bring the content to life and engage viewers.
This is a vivid and quick way to convey culture and education to young people.
The project's creators, all in their 20s, are driven by a love for cultural heritage and youthful creativity.
Young people quickly absorb new technology and have many creative ideas to spread culture in an interesting and trendy way.
This is a meaningful project because it is highly specialized, focusing on heritage values. We provide the latest technology to support them, helping the product reach the public.
After the trial, the Vietnam Cultural Heritage flashcards will be a learning tool in schools and a meaningful gift for tourists, promoting heritage through youth passion.
An Province held a rice harvest festival today as part of the national project to sustainably develop 1 million hectares of high-quality, low-emission rice in the Mekong Delta. The 2024 to 2025 winter-spring crop saw the province implement 40 production models across 560 hectares. New farming techniques help cut costs by $155 per hectare, push yields by 0.78 tons per hectare, and increase profits by $360 per hectare. To date, Anzang has applied the model to over 44,000 hectares. And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all for today's headlines. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.